Hello and welcome to this guide. You probably know it already. Making good decisions is as important as moving and aiming right. We're going to talk about everything you need to know to get better on the Vondel map. Stick until the end because I'll be giving you my best loadout. Let's get into it. Making decisions means you need information first, but how do you get the information? Awareness. Awareness is not just about knowing where your enemies are, it's so much more. And here's what you need to pay attention to when you play. Where is your teammate, if you have one? You should know if they're close or not in order to tell them what to do. If your teammate is far, you don't need to yell to come help you unless you want to confuse the enemy. If you get downed and your teammate is nearby, you can coordinate to try fighting back. If your teammate is far, tell them to stay safe until you respawn. What is in your bag? What's in the fucking bag? How many self-revives do you have? Do you have a gas mask? Which one? This will save you time at the buy station. Buy stations are high traffic points of interest. The less time you spend there, the better. Additionally, you should not pick up ammo you don't need or items you're not going to use. Always make sure you have a spot left if you find a self-revive or a gas mask in a panic moment. You can't be wasting time being exposed while looking through your bag. Also, don't carry too many plates. Have 1 or 2 for your teammate and 3 to 6 for yourself. No more needed. Do not stack up gas masks because they will lose efficiency at the same time when in the gas. Same as self-revives. Now you can't outsmart your enemies with 5 self-revives in a row anymore. It's a better option to actually steal one from a dead enemy when yours is all used up. What are your tacticals and lethals? Are they quick to use, like a grenade, or slow to use, like a C4, a mine, or a claymore? Knowing this will help you decide when it's appropriate to use them. You can't be panicking and throwing random lethals and hurting yourself by accident or dropping a mine and letting the enemy kill you. Take the time to see where enemies are landing at the beginning of the game. Landing quickly means you'll find a gun soon, but it's worthless if you get out the building and you get lasered by someone with more awareness. You should always keep an eye on where loadouts drop. How many loadouts are nearby your loadout? How many teams can you expect? Always think that each team could show up to the loadout at the same time and one team could be at a higher position waiting for an opportunity to take people by surprise. You should always know where your enemy is, even if it's not a precise location. What's your next move? If you just downed an enemy and you're playing duos, trios or quads, expect to see another enemy coming to the rescue of their friend. Depending on your perks, you can see teammates of the enemy you just killed for a short moment on the minimap. Use that to your advantage and communicate with teammates. The last point about awareness is the awareness of other teams fighting. Even if you're not being attacked, make sure you know where the other teams are fighting. If you're equipped enough, you could jump in and finish the surviving team or surprise them in the middle of a self-revive moment. I'm gonna give you a secret tip that I use to help me figure out the environment in Warzone. I turn on the colorblind settings and it helps me spot enemies that try hiding in bushes or in dark corners. The second part of this video is communication. If you play with regular teammates, make sure you know which languages they speak and make your own secret code. You could find words to make the enemy believe you're pushing but you're actually running away. You can also make the enemy believe you're going radio silent and leaving but you're actually using pings to push. Keep your team informed even when you die. You will still see the area where you died and you can tell your teammates if the enemy is looting, jumped off, or went somewhere else. Mark things even if you're playing solo. It will help you remember where you spotted enemies, where your loot is, and anything else you need to remember. Leave some free space in your brain and use marking instead. The next tip is to understand the map and items. Thermite and Semtex will stick to surfaces and players. Grenades will bounce back, and drill charges will basically create a 5 to 10 meters long explosion through a vertical surface. So don't throw it on the ground, it's useless. Throwing a drill charge in the tram on Vondel, for example, is a good way to kill anyone in it. If you know your lethals, you'll know when is the right moment to use them. Throwing a termite or a semtex in a small area is a recipe for disaster. Dropping C4, claymores, or other traps can help you, especially if you pretend to push the enemy and you trick them into coming towards you. Understand and explore the map. Know where to hide if you get in trouble. Know where you can jump safely without a parachute. On Vondel, you can find small places to catch your breath and be less visible from the enemy, such as behind boats, between boats, and behind staircases. Of course, your legs are still visible underwater. Take time to build the right loadout based on your skills and on the map layout. Vondel is a map with a lot of water and a lot of players with automatic pistols or F-Tac siege guns that will kill you by surprise. Adapt your loadout to make sure you can defend yourself in the water, or just don't go in the water and keep your usual guns. Some enemies will even run away when they see you have an automatic pistol underwater, so consider it for your loadout. While using enemy detection items such as UAV and heartbeat sensors, don't always leave your eyes on the small part of the screen for too long. The UAV updates regularly and you don't need to look at it all the time. Same for the heartbeat sensor. Oh, there's a dude 20 meters away? Cool, put the sensor back in your pocket and think of how you're gonna approach the situation. Move efficiently in the water. If your loadout dropped there, you don't need to show your face at the surface, you can do everything underwater. If you have a lot of airstrikes and UAVs, use them whenever you need to push enemies away. If you have a strike and you know there's people on the roof, place a mine at the door leading to the roof, go back downstairs and drop the airstrike. The enemies are either gonna jump off or probably run back inside, so they're gonna walk on your mine and you can finish them off. If you're limited with your UAVs and airstrike, just wait the last moment. Try to figure out where most of the players are and drop an airstrike on them. On Vondel, getting the natural loadout is dangerous. Try to buy your own instead or find a loadout box. Think of your strategy. If there's a safe box mission in a quiet area, go for it and make money for the loadout instead of dropping on the loadout where everyone else is. Now we're going to talk about positioning. If you're not playing aggressively, focus on moving to the safest locations. Get on a roof to check where enemies are and avoid those areas, or use a UAV. If you're trying to get a lot of kills, drop with the AFK players, then move towards the center of the map. You will soon see that some buildings are more busy than others at the beginning of the game. Roofs are not always a good idea on Vondel. The map is smaller than Verdansk and you can get sniped easily. The edges of the roofs can be low and it's difficult to find cover. Now let's talk about the thing that kills most players, panic moments. If there's one thing you need to master in Warzone, it's multitasking. Play it up while you're running, move when you're being shot at, move while you're peeking, wiggle around when you're going up ladders, and more. You will get an advantage if you manage to move around more and keep your gun on the enemy. There are some situations where your teammates are down and you could help, but you shouldn't always revive your team. Imagine what's in the enemy's head. Oh, we got 3 down, there's 1 left. If you come to revive your teammates, you're gonna get killed and you don't know how many enemies are around. Stay safe until 1 is back and then you can try reviving your teammates if you want, and if it's safe. Sometimes you will get attacked and you really can't afford to die, so what do? You have multiple options, but if you have shit guns, you shouldn't push. You shouldn't push either at the beginning of the game when everybody lands. Maybe they picked a better rifle than yours or even lethals. Sometimes fleeing or hiding is the best way to stay alive and survive to the next circle. And always think of where you're gonna go if you need to flee. This is the last part. I'm gonna drop some random tips and then I'm gonna give you my loadout. If you've ever watched real footage of people at war, you will notice that they shoot in bursts and they don't fully empty a magazine on people. They do this to avoid recoil, and you can do the same in Warzone. When you're in the water and you have the proper pistol to shoot underwater, always think of ballistics. It's not gonna shoot the same way as on land. You're gonna have to aim a little higher than where your target is. Ask your teammates to stop moving to check if there's someone near you or not. Record yourself playing in order to see what you missed and how you can improve. Read Warzone news regularly and adapt to changes in the game's balance and the meta. So if you see that the gun you have fully unlocked is now the best gun in Warzone, just include it in your loadout. If the gun you've been using for a few weeks is now nerfed, then change guns. So these are my 2 loadouts. There is one with a TAC-56 and a sniper, and the other one is with the automatic pistol for underwater and the TAC-56. I had to change it because I spend most of my time in the water in Vondel, so it's better to have an automatic pistol. If you make it to the end of the game on Vondel, you're always gonna have to go on land and then go in the water, go back to land, go back in the water. So you have to know how to defend yourself and you have to find the proper guns for it. That's it for this video. Maybe I'll make a part 2 sometimes later. Maybe if the map changes, I'll make a new video. I don't know. If you like this video, share it, subscribe, and don't forget to win some games.